Maria, would you say that you consider yourself an optimist, pessimist, or somewhere in the middle? I guess a realist.
I must confess I'm too much of an optimist for my own good. Because they say pessimists are happier because
Oh,
they always get
I did not know that.
they always get pleasantly surprised.
Lower your expectations so you can always be pleasantly.
Exactly. But I'm such
Yes.
an optimist. I think the majority of humanity is good. I always think everything is going to work out well. And if it doesn't, I'm going to deal with it. So I think definitely an optimist.
That
Why?
means that you view the world through rose-colored glasses.
Sí, of course.
Lentes de color de rosa.
Lentes de color de rosa. Definitely. What about you?
Whether I'm a pessimist, optimist, really, well, I think I used to be more of an optimist, and the last several years I've
Since
been
January,
backtracking a little since January of this year. Yeah, the last few weeks have been really tough. No, no. For the last several years, I've been kind of scaling back my optimism. I think I still see the world through lentes de color de rosa, but it's not a vibrant pink anymore. It's more of a very subdued sepia pink.
before we introduce the name of the show and explain what it is about, in case somebody doesn't know it, I have a very good friend who says maturing or like growing up is learning to manage your expectations. Isn't that
Yes.
wise?
Yes. Absolutely. I
Because I
agree with
think
that.
being immature is either having too low expectations or too high expectations or not to manage your expectations. We shouldn't have expectations to begin with.
Yeah, that's why they say the young believe that the world belongs to them, because it kind of does, when you have when when the world hasn't let you down so much. But that's not the truth for a lot of people. It really depends on the kind of life you have. And that probably informs whether you view the world con lentes de color de rosa or, some other color like a gray or blue.
Well, definitely Buddhist philosophy, which I follow and I really like, says your thoughts determine your reality. And it's not the typical new age self-help manifestation that if you think you're going to
Mm.
have this, you're going to have it. It's more like the way you see things determine how you experience them, the way you think of
Yes, yes.
things.
Oh, that brings us back to the study, the scientific study that I'm going to mention in a couple of minutes about this phrase. But before we venture too far into that territory, this is
Just a Spanish phrase.
that's right, a companion podcast, a sister podcast to News in Slow Spanish, where we take a few minutes every week to unpack an expression and really explore its cultural meaning, its origins, and hopefully gets you interested in learning more about these expressions and using them in your Spanish, everyday
And
Spanish.
on our website, newsinslowspanish.com, we have an entire catalog of tons and tons of idiomatic expressions.
That's right. And if you went there right now, newsandslowspanish.com/Latino, and open the expressions catalog to lentes color de rosa, rose tinted glasses, you would find that this expression, of course, as you know, is about how you see the world. The idea that seeing the world with a rosy colored hue, right, through rose tinted glasses means that you're seeing things more positively, more optimistically, and generally you feel good about the state of the world.
Or you're constantly disappointed when it doesn't happen.
that's the that's right, when it doesn't happen. But you can still wear those glasses, right? You have that optimistic view of the world, and then it comes crashing down on you. But where does it come from? Why rosy colored glasses? What do you think, Maria? Have you ever?
I have no idea. I'm waiting for you to tell me. And I'm
Okay.
also waiting for you to tell me about that scientific study. I haven't
Yes,
forgotten.
that's really
Okay.
cool. But before that more recent study, this century, we go back to the 19th century to a place in Paris, which you're going to help me pronounce this, Montmartre.
Montmartre.
Montmartre,
Oui.
the neighborhood in Paris, right? Really bohemian, famous for housing lots of artists.
Wait,
Right?
does it have anything to do with Edith Piaf, La Vie en Rose?
Oh, I think that came afterward. I think
Okay.
the song came after, and it's a reference to this idea, this concept of looking at the world through rose tinted glasses originates there. Now, there's different theories about the exact origin, but we do know that in the 19th century in Say it again with me.
Montmartre.
Montmartre in Paris. People started using and made popular this trend of wearing rose-tinted glasses because it was an acknowledgement of rose and pink, seeing everything in a pink hue as seeing everything sweet and lovely and positivity.
I love it.
Now,
Which,
but wait,
yeah.
where does that come from? One theory is that it comes from a wine glass. After you're done drinking wine, and good wine leaves a little sheen, a little purple tint to the inside of the glass. Now imagine lifting that up after you've enjoyed your glass of wine and looking at the sky or looking at the scenery through that rosy
no
tinted
matter
hue.
what you do after one delicious glass of wine, you're going to see the world better.
Exactly. And that brings us to the study, because the question is, does looking through a rose-tinted glass make you feel better? Does it improve your mood? Or does your mood impact the way you see the world? Literally, the way you see colors, the way you see light. There was a 2009 study.
Before you,
Okay. You go first.
I used to own a pair of rose-tinted glasses.
Yes.
And I did not like how the world looked on it at all.
It's a little creepy. I've worn them too.
Very creepy.
Yes.
The colors are so beautiful naturally. So I think wearing rose-tinted glasses, ver el mundo con lentes color de rosa.
It's a little unsettling.
Yes, it's like Black Mirror, like Pink Mirror.
Which is why, actually, I like the theory about the wine glass, because, okay, you raise your wine-stained glass up to the light and you look through it just for a moment. And it looks cool.
Cheers to life,
cheers
to love, to friendship, to community.
Exactly.
Okay.
But what remains is the fact that you just enjoyed some wine and you're probably with friends and you're feeling pretty good.
Yeah, like me after I ate chocolate.
Exactly. Okay, so that mood enhancers, mood changers. 2009, University of Toronto conducts this study where they test different people. They hook them up to, read their brain waves, with different machines, and they test them at different states of mood. So they ask people questions and they show people images and videos when they're feeling down, when they're feeling, okay, or when they're feeling positive. And they found that, in fact, yes, the visual cortex processes images differently. It lights up differently when you're in a better mood. So you can literally be experiencing colors and what you see differently when you're in a good mood than when you're in a bad mood. So same day, same beautiful scenery, but if I'm in a bad mood, I might see it a little grayer, a little duller. But if you're in a good mood, it might look rosy.
So to come full circle, this is yet another case in which Buddhist philosophy is backed up by science, because your thoughts determine your reality. If you have good thoughts, your reality is going to look better. If you have down thoughts or sad thoughts, your reality is going to look worse.
I think so. I agree with that. Yes. So definitely having a positive outlook, or at least like maybe having a positive intention, like waking up and thinking about how you're going to make this day good can really set the mood for the rest of the day.
And that is still why one of my favorite movies of all times is Perfect Days by Wim Wenders, in which the protagonist really, he looks at the world con lentes color de rosa, with rose-tinted glasses.
Literally or figuratively?
Figuratively, yeah. He's not wearing those glasses.
So
You're
like
right.
the expression, La vida color de rosa is not literally about wearing rose-tinted glasses, but the protagonist of the film sees everything.
Yes, he enjoys every single moment. He enjoys a ray of sun in his face. He actually cleans toilets for a living, and he seems to enjoy doing that.
That reminds me of La Vita è Bella. Remember that movie? Life is Beautiful? This is a very dark subject, but
yes,
it's
and
all
it was
about
very polemic too, even though it won a bunch of Oscars.
Look, that sounds like a discussion for another day.
I think so, because I think we're running out of time.
Yes, we are, but that's okay. Let's have a positive outlook on life and enjoy it from that first sunrise to that last glass of wine.
Yeah, whatever you're doing right now, look around and think, what are you grateful for? What is pink in your life right now?
It
Not
might
literally.
it might literally change the way you see the world.
All right. Hasta la próxima. See you next time.
Bye.